So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, OASIS, who will be singing their hits.
All right. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. I might have to stay on my tiptoes. Not gonna lie. Okay. Welcome to our team's presentation. It's Finding Your Oasis: Improving Virtual Services to Patrons. Today we're going to talk to you about our project, what we've done so far, the ideas that we've had, and what we hope to continue in the future. This is not a final product. This is definitely still a work in progress, and basically what we want to do is just share with you our experience, get the conversation going, maybe get some of your ideas, and just kind of create a conversation about it. What we want to do is we want to improve services to people who can't come to the library for whatever reason. We have 5 different librarians here from public, school, academic, and there's a variety of reasons why patrons can't come to the library. It's not necessarily because of, an injury. So we wanted to reach out to those patrons. And then speaking of continuing the conversation, throughout this presentation, we had created a website on Google Sites. It's like a wiki page, and we have 5 different pages representing each one of us. We're going to have those passed around so you can take a look at each of our page. And because of the internet connectivity issues in here, I just ask that you don't actually click any of the links because it might log out and it's just not good. So on the last page, though, we'll have a link to our website so you can check it out on your mobile device or smartphone or computer at your convenience, and you can contribute your ideas to it too. Thank you.
Okay, so what is OASIS? It's outreach activities streaming innovative services. As Barbara mentioned, we all come from different libraries: public, academic, school library. We serve different users: homebound users, youth users, students. We all have different variety of users we want to reach. So the one thing we all agreed on is that we wanted to meet our users wherever they were, whether they be at home or stuck in traffic or wherever. And the way to do this is to do it through virtual services. So essentially what we all did is we took this project and we made it our own, and we formatted it to our own users.
So what we're going to do for the remainder of our presentation is each of us is going to give you a little summary about our own particular library and what we've done so far and what we hope to do, and then we can open it up for Q&A. My name is Barbara, and I'm an adult services librarian at Barrington Area Library. And for public libraries, when I'm thinking, we have Beatrice, who's our homebound services librarian. So when I'm thinking of people who can't physically come to the library, I'm thinking of maybe schedule conflicts, work schedules, babysitter issues, they're sick that day, whatever. And whatever it is that's preventing them from coming to the library for a program or whatever reason it might be that they can't physically come to the library. Now we have, public libraries have a lot of services on their websites that people can access if they can't physically come to the library, but what we wanted to do was create a human connection for those people. So the best way that I've found to do that so far is by using Google Hangouts on Air. And for people that don't know what Google Hangouts on Air is, it's a broadcast, it's a way to broadcast live programs to people on their computers, smartphones, their tablets, so that they can watch a program or a presentation live from home or, if they're on the train. And it's a way for them to virtually connect with the library community. If for some reason they're unable to attend the program virtually, they can always access it later, because what's really great about Google Hangouts on Air is that they're automatically archived onto a YouTube channel. So if you don't know what Google Hangouts on Air is, or if you want to learn about setting it up, on our website I created a little step-by-step tutorial, so feel free to check that out later. And I've had a really good experience with it so far. Just a few of the things that I've played around with it have been broadcasting one of my coworkers doing a VHS to DVD tutorial to members of the community. Another one was broadcasting a librarian doing an interview with a local author historian. And this winter in January, our library is going to be doing a lot of ebook demonstrations in the month of January, and we've discussed live streaming those as well. So people can access that live from home, and they can also get it on the YouTube channel later. So hopefully there'll be a nice playlist going on in the future. Some other ideas that I have that maybe I'll end up doing in the future, or maybe you'll be able to do them in the future, are virtual book discussions, virtual reference, and drop-in ebook questions using Google Hangouts on Air. All that I needed to do for Google Hangouts on Air was a laptop or a computer, but I think laptop is nicer because it's more mobile. A webcam. We use the Logitech HD webcam, which has been really nice because it really has provided a clear image, and the Yeti microphone, because that's been really nice for canceling out background noise. Another thing that I like to use is a tripod because I think it makes more leverage for the camera. You can set up the camera onto the tripod, then hook it up to the laptop, and then you have more control over camera angle. So I think that's nice. But at the very least, if you just have a laptop and a webcam, then I think you're good to go. And you can check out more ideas on our website. But it's been really good so far, and I'm excited about programs to do with it in the future.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dominique Roman, and I'm actually a youth services librarian at the West Chicago Public Library. When I was thinking about what to do with this project, I tried thinking about what our patrons love most about our library, and the answer to that was programming. We do lots and lots of programming in youth services. Of course, the one basic format of programming that every youth services department has is story time. What children's department doesn't have a story time, right? But the thing is, with our story times, we had a limited audience because we were only able to do them during the day, and mostly for toddlers. And while other kids were in school, or parents were working, and there were various reasons why people couldn't come to our general story times. So at first, my idea was to just record our story times and post them online later. But it's very hard to get toddlers to sit still in front of a camera during a story time. The librarian gets distracted, and so on and so forth. Also, I didn't want to put the children's faces on camera because of other waiver issues and things of that nature. So I thought, why not just have the librarian have a personal experience with her virtual audience through the web camera? You can be creative, you can edit, you can basically make the story time what you want. And there are less distractions, especially when we're working in our back workroom without patrons walking around in the background. In order to create this story time, the tools we used were the Logitech webcam, which, as Barb mentioned, was great. It's an HD camera, it has a built-in microphone, and it comes with its own basic editing software. It's really basic, just to kind of cut and print, that sort of thing. But it does have great picture and a clear sound. I also used the Adobe Premiere Elements software, which allowed me to edit a little bit more, add in some music, add in some credits, and be a little more creative, and also cut out parts that we didn't necessarily want to add to the story time. And lastly, we used an Acer tablet to test out the platform and make sure it worked on various mobile devices. So we recorded our first story time, which was a puppet show of The Tortoise and the Hare. It was a fractured fairy tale. We posted it around the last week of September. Within the first week, we got 79 views. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but keep in mind, on our library Facebook page, we have 100 likes. So 79 views is 79% of our audience, so that's great. If you're planning to create your own virtual story time, keep in mind to try and use something in the public domain to avoid copyright issues, or anything published before 1923. If not, you want to try and use a fractured fairy tale, or maybe even write your own tale. You can write whatever you want. If you're putting it online, you can make it as creative as you want, or as simple as you want to. It doesn't just have to be you with a book in front of the camera. And also, if you do want to read a story that is in the public domain, say if you want to read like a Dr. Seuss or Mo Willems or anything of that nature, you can try and put a disclaimer at the beginning of your videos to try to avoid any copyright issues or anything of that nature. And lastly, you don't always have to do a story time. You can do a craft in front of the camera. You can do a literacy lesson. You can do anything you want that you think your patrons will enjoy. You just want to cater your videos to your users.
Hi, my name is Beatrice O'Connell. I'm the outreach librarian at the DeKalb Public Library. I serve about a dozen homebounds. I visit also bi-monthly 4 nursing and assisted living facilities, 3 nursing homes, and an adult daycare center, which I go there for about once a month. I have about 15 to 20 homebounds in the assisted living and maybe about another 20 in the nursing homes. Receive requests from patrons by phone, by mail, and by email. I keep a list of their requests for a few months because sometimes you can always feel a demand because the item is too new, so I wait until it's all done. I also experimented with a Kindle Touch, which our library received from a grant from ISL. Unfortunately, my patron could not really hold the Kindle with one hand. She kept touching the screen and it kept moving the picture, so it was a little bit disappointing. I also tried the Play Away. It did not work for her either. So often it's trial and error in providing tools. And but we learn and we experiment. My community representative is Lynn Sorge. She's a visually impaired. She's also a teacher at the School for the Blind. I felt that she could help me with the ILEAD project and define what her public library could do for her, and as well what services we could offer. She's a member of Talking Book and Braille Service and BARD, which is Braille and Audio Download, provided by ISL. She uses the library to complement her reading needs. During my interview with her, she gave me a demo of the different items and tools that she uses. She has several MP3 players. One has 60 books on it, and she can also download more. She also has a NLS digital player. Her suggestion is that Librarian, before they sign up visually impaired patron for the talking books, they should be giving a tutorial on how to use the machine. And I think it's a great idea because it's scary to be losing your vision, and if you're going to use a different format to continue reading, a tutorial I think is pretty important. I thought that through the ILEAD grant that we decided to purchase some laptop sticks and 30-day free internet access through net cards. And my library is also going to provide me 2 laptops to take to borrowers. I'm planning to use our ASU tablet as a reference tool during my visits, and also received a video cam, and I'm planning on using it as a reference tool for face-to-face connection with my patrons. Sorry. I numbered my cards, but I guess my numbers are not in order. Okay. I cannot say enough good about the Talking Book and BARD service. It's a free service to patrons, and it's helpful when they have to transition from large print to talking books. BARD also just came out with a free mobile app. It is available through the Apple Store. And they also have new selection every day. So it's pretty amazing to have a service that is so up to date. My community representative showed me how to use those tools, and I just want to keep my patrons to read as long as possible and try to bring them the little pleasures that a library can bring to them. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Carol Hartman, and I'm an online adjunct instructor for the Library Technical Assistant Program at Waubonsee Community College. As an ILEAD OASIS team member, my task was to explore virtual office hours to improve library outreach services to distance learners. I teach 3 courses, tech services, public services, and the library practicum experience. My primary pedagogy is hands-on project-based learning, and all of my students have Gmail. And currently I have 8 online students completing the practicum. So for me, with the Google Hangout on Air, I was trying to help them connect with me, with other students in class, with other students in other classes, and also I have an active LinkedIn group for program grads, mentors, mentees, and try to build that kind of relationship. So I kept coming back to the overall goal for this ILEAD program or project in 2013, participatory technology. I just kept coming back to that. How are we using the technology? Is everyone participating fully? So that really kept me focused and on task every time we were kind of out here. So that was a good thing. So my community participant was Mallory Gargo, and some of you might know her at Skokie Public Library. I don't know how many of you are out there. And she completed my tech services and public services and is currently enrolled as a practicum student. So I used Google Hangouts on Air in every way I could think of, and Mallory was my poster child. She was ready for anything. She looks great on camera. She chats easily. So to satisfy the requirements and assignments for the practicum, we did live tutoring about her e-portfolio and improving her resume. She had to do a mock job interview, and she also inspired another practicum student in the course who had created some PowerPoints locally for her in-house about Polaris. It was her own work, but she has made her mind that she wants to use Hangouts on Air to get the video recording with the voiceover. She has a beautiful speaking voice, and then create a YouTube playlist. So that's another practicum student with a goal as to how to use this. So we had collaborative meetings between the practicum students enrolled so they could actually discuss some of the topics for the course, difficult patrons and emergency preparedness. And face-to-face, I would say it went very well. There was the visual impact and lively discussion that was just kind of open. I was moderating, but the students could share with each other. I also, through my LinkedIn connection, I put out a message at noon and said, hey, does anyone want to participate in a panel? These are the program grads. And I heard back from 4 by the end of the day that, yeah, they wanted to learn Google Hangouts on Air and participate in this. So I can't say enough about what the others, Logitech, it was plug and play. I walked into class, because I don't have a camera, I plopped it on my machine, plugged it in. It was up on the screen. We dialed everybody in, and we were good to go. And they really enjoyed that dialogue with people working, in the workplace, and also making some connections for their practicum. So lastly, I reached out to our team leader, Kathy Parker, who contributed a subject expert interview about the Rails initiative, reaching across Illinois, in plain English. And my students really enjoyed that. And I used some techniques with the Hangout on Air. I split the audio and video and really worked with it in, I used the Adobe Premiere for that. So I use the YouTube editing, the Adobe Premiere editing, the Camtasia editing for all different little projects, and you can see the results in our YouTube playlist. We've got that linked on the website. So, and I did add Google Analytics last night with help from my friend, so thank you. So I'd like to end with a quote from that I found in Jamie LaRue's Denver Public Library Strategic Plan, and he spoke this morning, so I thought, what the heck, I'll throw this in. No, but he didn't talk about this. So this insight is offered by futurist Gary Golden. Quote, in 20 years, it is likely, in my vision of the world, that libraries and museums, non-school institutions, will grant more certifications of work schools than all schools combined. Your technical schools, community colleges, high schools, and graduate schools. Our civic institutions will train, vet, certify skill sets in volumes that will dwarf those that are currently granted in our schools today. That is the provocation to think about. What if it were true? That is a very different future. So how do we continue this conversation? Come play in our sandbox. We've got this, and I found out that there are many other examples of staff sandboxes. So this is a model I think that works and is used in a lot of different kind of libraries. But we invite you to come and join us and learn how to use Google Hangouts.
I'm Beth Tuppen, and I'm a high school librarian. We are currently a single building district, and I want to just tell you a little bit about the kids that I work with. There are 1,700 students who are in our school, and our library is kind of physically located in the center of a hallway that's accessible throughout the day, both morning, academic hours, lunch, and after school. So there are a lot of places where students can socialize, but the library is one of the few places where they can actually find a seat, check in on grades and other information on computers, and sit down and do some homework. But that's not the only thing that they do, of course. There's a lot of talking, playing. We offer games like chess and checkers and other board games. They give and get help. We have tutors physically located in the library. They tease, they touch, they connect with one another, and that's one of the things that I wanted to specifically say was that there's a lot of physicality to the space. And so in thinking about this project and trying to connect virtually, I wanted to try to find a way to make that connection happen when you're not physically in the same space. So we talked as a group about using Google Hangouts and began exploring that, but came to a roadblock when we learned that users are supposed to be 18 years of age or older. We have a policy on my campus that phones are supposed to be off and away during the school day unless a teacher specifically asks for people to use them. So that kind of put a roadblock in place for me. We also have a fairly restrictive filter, which means that students can't get to a lot of social networking sites, and YouTube and other video intensive sites are also blocked. So that gave me some parameters to work within. So I ended up using Camtasia Studio and some space on screencast.com to create and edit tutorials. And what I've done thus far is an Access 360 tutorial. I'd like to use Hangout on Air to record conversations about careers, because we have both a traditional campus and an alternative school, and in both there are speakers who come and share their experiences about the work world, and try to connect with the students and help them to understand what they do and what those students might want to do in the future. In some places, the physical space that those presentations happen are limited, and others, certain groups are just not invited, like what happens over on the alternative campus. So this would give people an opportunity to access those presentations at any point. I also think it could be a useful tool for giving staff development opportunities to share with one another, and for me to share stuff that I've learned in off-site conferences and things like that. So again, trying to provide information when and where they need it. The other thing I wanted to touch upon is the Common Core state standards. These are standards that are being implemented across the United States, and making it so that students in 2015 and 16 will be tested by a new assessment tool called the PARC assessment. And essentially what this means is they're being assessed on their level of reading comprehension, where they can find details within sample text that's provided in the test. It tests their judgment and critical thinking skills, not so much their recall skills or asking them for a personal reaction. They have to be able to read and understand material that they're presented with, and then be able to come back with where did they find that in that passage. And also, additionally, there's a writing sample, so they need to be able to communicate their ideas effectively. So let's talk about the tools that we used. Throughout the project, all of us were utilizing webcams, the Logitech camera. Number of us used Adobe Premiere Elements and Camtasia Studio to edit our work. Lynda.com gave us access to training on how to use some of these different tools and software. The Yeti microphone is down here. That helps to eliminate background noise and comes out with really good sound quality on our final products. And then our Acer tablet was something that we purchased through the grant, so we checked our compatibility, I guess you'll say, with that. And many of the other tools here pictured are things that you all potentially could have access to, a computer, a tripod. So we use these tools to create our products.
So there's our website, and we also have a Twitter account. I mean, there's a bunch of links on there. You can find your way around. There's Digo link list. We tried to bookmark and save everything. So anything that anybody used, we tried to collect, and that was our process or our breadcrumbs. But a little bit of the backstory. We started out, we were going to make an app, and so we looked at App Machine, which was in beta and very expensive. And just in looking at it and getting feedback from the reps, it looked like really, really industrial strength solution, but the HTML was like way beyond anything we were going to be able to do. So then we came up with the idea of a open textbook using open educational resources. And we looked at Bookry, which is an iBook, and you can link it and make it dynamic and have a lot of interactive content. But then we failed our cross-platform. So then we looked at Inkling Habitat, because which is another open textbook product. And a lot of grants now depend on instructors providing only open educational resources. So we thought, well, that's great. We can just take all of this and put it in a book somewhere. But, so we really made pretty good headway with that. And believe me, I had the iPhone, the iPad, the Acer, the tablet. I mean, I had them all lined up, and I would choose the next tool and just run down. And so that's how we fell back on, and I think it was a good solution. Once we fell back on Google tools, which were integrated with our Google Hangouts, everything fell into place, and it was too easy, and we had full participation. So. Oh, yeah, this is our website. This is our main page, and we've got the tabs across the top. Just represent our story time. You just go across innovative, and then story time somewhere, and savvy special needs, and then online academic. And my theme was badges, and my representative got it immediately. She said, "Oh, badges!" So she understood that the school librarians. So we also, can we see the links on the bottom? We also put our thinking out loud, summary statements of what we got out of the project. So it's all there, playlist and a lot of other things. So we've come a long way.
Anybody have any questions?
Sure. Yes. It's automatic, and there is a lag, and so you have to be watching it, because it loads public. It comes up public. So then you got to get in and make it private or whatever.
If you want to do like a hangout that you want private, you just don't do the on-air.
Yes, two separate tools.
Yeah, and then that way, when it's done though, it's not saved. I'm sure you can record
Yeah.
on with your own camera, but Google Hangouts on-air broadcasts it and then saves it. If you want to do it private.
Yeah, I did all my virtual office hours just in a hangout, not recorded with students. So all of the panel discussion, interview stuff was streaming. That was all on air. You got to watch the lag and get on and flip it from private to public to private.
Now, did you end up recording like a full video of a story time program or separate videos for story time?
No, separate videos for story time, just because it gave us a little more flexibility with editing.
Thank you.